Perhaps the strangest part isn't your cat staring at a blank wall. He does this precisely when the house seems too heavy, or to show up by your side that night when you didn't tell anyone. You try to smile, change your tone of voice, and pretend everything's fine. Even so, he approaches slowly and remains there in silence, as if he had noticed something you tried to hide from the whole world. Many people call it habit, an interest in food, or simply coincidence. And sometimes, that can be exactly it. But perhaps the purpose lies less in what the cat sees and more in what it awakens. Patience, presence, responsibility, rest, and a different way of loving. Things that God can teach without using speeches, pulpits, or grand signs. Sometimes, the lesson arrives on 4 legs and sleeps next to your bed. However, there is a very common mistake in this story. It's a mistake even people who deeply love their cats make. They believe the animal appeared only to heal their wounds. But what if you were also placed in his life for a reason? Stay until the end, because this truth completely changes the question. Perhaps it's not simply, why did God send me this cat? The meeting that seemed small. Some cats arrive pre-selected after weeks of searching for the perfect breed or color. Others appear wet on the sidewalk, shivering under a car. There are those who enter through a window and simply decide to stay. Actually, that moment, no one hears thunder or sees the sky open up. There's only a low meow, 2 attentive eyes, and a seemingly ordinary decision. But certain important stories begin small precisely so as not to frighten us. Perhaps you'll say it was by chance, and there's nothing wrong with that. Faith doesn't need to transform every encounter into a supernatural spectacle. The purpose can be recognized by what begins to emerge after that encounter. You start waking up earlier, sharing space, and noticing a different life. The house remains the same, but you no longer walk through the rooms in the same way. Now there's someone waiting for the sound of your footsteps on the other side of the door. There's no verse that says every cat is an angel in disguise. Nor do we need to invent powers to recognize the value in God's creation. The extraordinary can lie in the silent transformation that care brings about. You thought you were just offering food, water, and shelter. Without realizing it, you began to learn constancy, gentleness, and commitment. And that's just the first layer of what this encounter can mean. The clock that only marks the now. The cat finds a ray of sunlight coming through the window and lies down on it for a few minutes. That seems like the only commitment in the universe. He doesn't feel guilty about resting. He doesn't revive the pot he knocked over yesterday, nor does he fear next week's rain. Its entire body is exactly where its paws are. Meanwhile, you reply to messages during lunch and think about tomorrow before going to sleep. He doesn't know about productivity, but he knows about rhythm. After playing, rest. When you feel hungry, you look for food. Upon noticing excessive noise, seek a safe place. The cat doesn't teach us that we should abandon responsibilities. It shows the danger of living so busy that the present passes by unnoticed. Sit next to him without taking out your cell phone. Listen to the sounds of the house. Notice the air temperature. And relax your shoulders. Observe the small breaths rising and falling. Maybe he'll open his eyes, blink slowly, and go back to sleep. Nothing dramatic happened, but his body was finally given permission to stop. This pause reveals something that many only discover after reaching their limit. Love without questions. There are days when you don't want to talk to anyone. The words seem harsh, and any question could reopen a wound. Your cat doesn't demand an explanation. Guy sits close, closes his eyes, and lets the silence fill the space. He doesn't try to correct your feelings or tell you that you should be stronger. He simply allows you to exist without needing to play a role. His presence may seem distant to those expecting a noisy love affair. Cats don't show affection in the same way that people or dogs do. Some climb onto laps, while others prefer to sleep a few meters away. One person rests their head on the wall, while another discreetly follows you around the house. Distance doesn't always mean rejection. Sometimes it's the safest way he's learned to stay close. Here lies an uncomfortable truth. We shouldn't demand that an animal cure our loneliness. It's not obligated to accept hugs, cuddles, or affection whenever we want them. Love without judgment must also be love without invasion. When you learn to respect and not now, something changes inside you. The relationship ceases to be about possession and begins to become about connection. And this encounter opens the door to a school that doesn't accept students who are in a hurry, If this message is making you see your cat in a different light, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos. Don't forget to like and share this video with someone who also believes that certain encounters happen for a reason. Now, continue reading. When the PAWS stop making noise, one day, the house might become quiet in a different way. The jar remains in the corner, but no one runs when they hear the package being opened. You avoid looking at the pillow where he used to sleep. For a few seconds, he thought he heard those paws in the hallway. Then he remembers, and the absence returns. Anyone who's lost a pet knows that this grief occupies very specific places. Some people downplay this pain by saying it was just a cat, but it wasn't just a cat. It was a recurring presence every day, intertwined with their schedules and their history. It was a silent witness to changes that perhaps no one else noticed. The bond remains because the body also holds memories. Some loves continue to reappear even after they no longer have a physical form. Honoring this history doesn't mean denying the sadness. It means remembering what that life taught you and the care you were able to offer. Maybe another cat will come along someday, but it won't be a replacement. It will be a new story, with a different rhythm, a different perspective, and a different way of trusting. Love doesn't need to erase one memory to make room for another. Conclusion. Maybe you were sent to... Throughout this time, you may have wondered why God sent that cat. Perhaps you were thinking of comfort, protection, balance, or emotional healing. All of this could be part of the answer. But there is an even deeper possibility. Perhaps God didn't put the cat in your life just to take care of you. Perhaps He also brought you into His life so that He would be taken care of. You did not receive a spiritual accessory created to absorb your pain. He inherited a vulnerable life with fears, needs, limitations, and His own unique language. While He taught you to slow down, you offered Him shelter. While He stayed up during the difficult nights, you made sure He wouldn't go hungry. They helped each other in completely different ways. The purpose was never about serving one another, but about the bond transforming both of them. Today, when your cat looks at you silently, look back. Notice the breathing, the trust, and the history you've built together. Perhaps there isn't a mysterious sign hidden in that moment. Perhaps the miracle is precisely the presence. If you believe this encounter changed your life, tell us in the comments how it happened. And never forget, while you were asking why God sent a cat, it may have been asking why God sent you.